We all know where we were when Tebowmania hit. As the quarterback for the University of Florida, Tim Tebow was absolutely dominant. Nintendo and Super Mario go together like peanut butter and jelly. The first underclassman to win the Heisman Trophy in NCAA history in 2007, Tebow quarterbacked for the Gators when they won the BCS Championship in 2008, and he served as an inspiration to many with his devout Christian faith. By the time he was declared for the 2010 NFL Draft, Tebow was a household name and had the whole country Tebowing. The 6 feet 3 inches tall and about 240-pound Tebow was described as the strongest human being that's ever played the position by one anonymous NFL coach via biography. Yeah, you can have one without the other. However, despite his stellar college career, NFL scouts and talent evaluators questioned whether he could replicate that success in the big leagues. But they still belong together. So it goes without saying that Switch owners should pick up Nintendo's new Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection. Some even openly wondered if he should change positions due to his stature and rushing ability. But as a quarterback, not so much. I'd say 3rd or 4th round worst case scenario, 2nd round as a best case. Probably a 3rd rounder, said ESPN football analyst Mel Kiper Jr., per Yahoo Sports. It's 3 of the best Mario games in history. Yeah, even Sunshine, together in one package that, thanks to the unique design of the Switch, you can bring with you wherever you go. For that reason alone, this $60 package is worth a buy. But that doesn't mean it's perfect. That's assuming his workouts are good. But the Tebow hype train would not be slowed down for anyone. Tebow had a dream to play quarterback in the NFL and that's what he did. However, 5 years later, that dream was over. Super Mario 3D All-Stars contains exactly what's promised: 3 Mario games, Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. That's it. That's all you get. Come on, you think, letting loose an exasperated sigh. Why did one of the greatest college football players of all time flame out so quickly? Let's huddle up and find out how Tim Tebow destroyed his career. Tim Tebow found early success with the Denver Broncos. Isn't 3 incredible games enough? Yes, it is. Like I said already, if you've got a Switch then you really ought to get this package. But it's just the 3 games, with no enhancements beyond control tweaks to make them Switch-friendly. Then he didn't, despite most draft experts and NFL scouts calling Tim Tebow a mid-round pick at best. The Denver Broncos traded up in the 2010 NFL Draft to select the quarterback as the 25th overall pick in the first round. You do get the ability to play any of the 3 soundtracks while your Switch is idling, but that's it. For a package that's framed as a celebration of Super Mario's 35th anniversary, there's not much partying going on. Then head coach Josh McDaniels praised Tebow's competitive traits and his winning college record. Via NFL.com, he's a leader, he works hard, he's got all the intangibles you look for in a player at that position. Tebow's rookie season in the Mile High City wasn't much to write home about, but in 2011, Tebowmania reached its peak. It's hard to complain about these old games simply existing on Nintendo's latest and super popular console. But if you're hoping for archival peeks behind the scenes or Easter egg additions like bonus games, this ain't it. Since the newest of the 3 titles in Super Mario 3D All-Stars is already 13 years old, let's tackle this by running through what you're getting. Especially for younger readers who missed out on Nintendo's GameCube and Nintendo 64 generations, there's historical context here that matters. Super Mario 64 1996, when the Nintendo 64 launched in 1996, Super Mario 64 was released alongside the console and it came as something of a revelation. For the first time, the mustachioed plumber existed in a 3D world. After a 1-4 start to the season, Tebow became the starting quarterback and led the Broncos to the playoffs. Tebow played the greatest game of his career against the Pittsburgh Steelers in the team's first playoff game, throwing for a career-high 316 yards and 2 touchdowns, including an 80-yard bomb to Demaryius Thomas that sealed the game in overtime. But the high didn't last long. The Broncos faced the New England Patriots the following week and were absolutely destroyed 45-10. Tim's earned the right to be our quarterback going into training camp next year, the Broncos' vice president of football operations John Elway said after the season via The Washington Post. All the puzzles and platform jumping unfolded across not just X and Y axes, but a Z axis as well. It was a game changer, literally. However, Tebow never played another down for the team.
Tim Tebow was the most self-centered humble guy in Denver. Were Tim Tebow's issues on the field the only reason he was evicted from the Mile High City? Well, according to the book, Elway, A Relentless Life, sports journalist Jason Cole talked to several sources inside the Denver Broncos organization, and the former Heisman winner apparently didn't make any fans in the building by allegedly being an egomaniac obsessed with money. The most self-centered humble guy I've ever met, one Broncos staffer said of Tebow in an excerpt provided by the Daily Mail. And while the quarterback reportedly charged $50,000 to speak at churches, he was apparently under the impression that he would also bank the same at Broncos charity events, which angered many inside the Broncos organization, including John Elway's wife. The book also claimed that Tebowmania and his devout group of fans made it difficult for Elway or any Broncos coach to criticize Tebow publicly. Mario 64 plays like no other game that came before it. The adjustable camera that rotates around Mario in chunks, and not always a full circle, feels archaic compared to modern 3D games that give you full control over the camera. When Elway appeared on a radio show and remained non-committal on Tebow's future with the team, the reaction was as if he had just burned the American flag at high noon in front of Sunday school class. However, behind the scenes, the Broncos coaching staff reportedly thought Tebow was simply awful and struggled to understand concepts in reading defenses and executing the offense, so much so they would shake their head when asked about Tebow's mental aspect of the game. But in 1996, a year before Sony introduced the industry's first dual-stick controller, Nintendo's chunky camera flips still changed the way we conceived of Mario gameplay. Super Mario 64 is like the Jimi Hendrix of Mario games. The 3D All-Stars version doesn't change a thing about the camera, or anything else. As one former teammate claimed to Cole, he has no idea what's going on out there. Yikes. Did Tim Tebow sow discord in Denver? With the Denver Broncos starting the 2011 season with a 1-4 record under starter quarterback Kyle Orton above, left, there were calls from the fan base for head coach John Fox to give Tim Tebow the starting job. One of those calls took the form of a giant, digital billboard paid for by employees of the Denver-based Multiline International Imports, which read via NFL.com, Broncos fans to John Fox, play Tebow. We have the best fans in the NFL, Broncos team spokesman Patrick Smith said at the time, trying to put a diplomatic spin on the billboard. This is another example of their unrivaled passion and enthusiasm for the Broncos. However, the Broncos quarterback room privately fined Tebow every day the billboard remained up for failing to make a public statement about the divisiveness of the sign. 2 months later, the Broncos cut Orton, and the veteran quarterback signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's fine. The stepped camera spins take a little getting used to, but Mario 64's gameplay has aged remarkably well. It's a product of Nintendo's superb level design, and the imaginatively designed worlds they exist in. The penguin slide is still an asshole, though. Like most Mario games, you're on a quest to save Princess Peach from the clutches of Bowser. The setting this time is Peach's castle, a labyrinthine collection of corridors and rooms adorned by very little furniture but tons and tons of hanging art. Each piece of art is your gateway to another level. While the castle, which serves as a hub, offers secrets of its own to uncover, you spend most of your time jumping into paintings and chasing the discrete challenges you find in a never-ending pursuit for power stars. There are 6 to be found in each painting's world, and part of the fun lies in figuring out how to actually get them. Super Mario 64 is like the Jimi Hendrix of Mario games. If you're discovering it for the first time in 2020, features like the hub world and the Power Star Chase might not feel particularly new or fresh. Later that year, Orton got his revenge by defeating the Tebow-led Broncos 7-3. Tim Tebow's season of disappointment with the New York Jets. The Denver Broncos solved their quarterback issues in 2012 by signing Peyton Manning, so Tim Tebow was shipped off the New York Jets in exchange for 2 late-round draft picks. But it's still a superstar among superstars. The Jets understood the issues with Tebow's lack of arm strength and accuracy, so they decided to implement the Wildcat offense to play up his running ability. Tebow was expected to thrive in the new-look offense. Spoiler, he did not. Barely 3 months into the season, Tebow's teammates were reportedly calling him the worm in the Big Apple. This was the first time a Mario game introduced any of these ideas. He's terrible, an anonymous defensive starter said via the New York Daily News. We don't look at him as a quarterback, another starter added. Not only did it change what future Mario games looked like, it influenced tons and tons of Mario-inspired games and series, too. Super Mario Sunshine 2002 image, Nintendo. This is a weird one, and a game that's still the subject of much debate among Nintendo fans. He's the Wildcat guy. Players also claimed Tebow played horribly in practice, while a member of the organization alleged it would take, like a 5-interception game, for Tebow to replace the team's equally bad starting quarterback, Mark Sanchez. It would take Mark to totally just ***T the bed and become unglued, the person continued. As for the Wildcat offense? Another player claimed, we can't win running that ***T. Tebow's tenure ended with the Jets the following April, when the team waived him. He completed just 6 passes for 39 yards in a Jets uniform. We have a great deal of respect for Tim Tebow, said then Jets head coach Rex Ryan via USA Today. Unfortunately, things did not work out the way we all had hoped. Tim Tebow's stop with the New England Patriots lasted 2 months. If any one team could find out a way to use Tim Tebow, it would be the NFL juggernaut New England Patriots, right? Well, that was the thinking in 2013, when the team signed him a day before mandatory minicamp started. Reunited with his former head coach in Denver, Josh McDaniels, who returned to New England as the offensive coordinator, Tebow thought he found a new lease on his NFL career. After playing in 3 preseason games with an abysmal 36.7% completion percentage, the Boston media was calling for him to be cut. Super Mario Sunshine was the second 3D Mario game, and the only one released for Nintendo's GameCube. It's also, crucially, not a story about Princess Peach being kidnapped. Sunshine sees Mario, Peach, and friends heading off for a vacation on the tropical Isle Delfino. In a couple of weeks, Tebow likely will be cut, and his former Patriots teammates all will say what a pleasure he was to be around, Jerry Callahan of the Boston Herald wrote. But when they arrive, they discover the island is covered in patches of glowing toxic sludge. Soon after, Mario obtains the FLUDD, a robotic backpack that can shoot out jets of water. He uses it to clean up some of the sludge, but is arrested almost immediately, no joke, under the suspicion that he's been tagging the island with graffiti. As you can probably tell already, there's more story unfolding here than you'd typically get in a Mario game, with some limited voice acting, exposition, and even spoiler-worthy twists that I won't reveal here, don't worry. The game's opening teases the presence of a Mario double as the likely culprit behind the graffiti, and therein lies Sunshine's central mystery. Sunshine feels like an experiment to push the notion of what a 3D Mario game can be. It's not just story that makes Sunshine different, though. His coaches will say he was a joy to coach. Fans proudly will wear their No. Mario's FLUDD, which is short for Flash Liquidizer Ultra Dousing Device, and the presence of all that toxic sludge changes the nature of the puzzles you're solving. 5 jerseys forever. Tebow will smile and bless us all as he walks out the door. The FLUDD's jets have 2 positions, allowing you to use it as either a jump-extending jetpack or a water spray device. And there will, finally, be no more mystery. The backpack only carries a finite amount of water, though, so you're constantly having to monitor your water level and find a way to refill when it gets low. Sunshine may have been only the second 3D Mario game, but there's not been any Mario game from Nintendo like it since. In hindsight, it feels like an experiment to push the notion of what a 3D Mario game can be in new directions. For that reason, it's become a divisive game among fans of the series. But it's still superb. Unlike both 64 and Galaxy, Super Mario Sunshine gives you full 360-degree control over the camera. Tebow will be gone, and we all will know why. As expected, Tebow was cut before the regular season started. In a series of tweets via The Washington Post, Tebow thanked the Patriots for the opportunity to be a part of such a classy organization. He added, I will remain in relentless pursuit of continuing my lifelong dream of being an NFL quarterback. Turns out the dream wasn't dead. The 3D All-Stars release unfortunately sticks with the original controls completely, right down to the awkward setup for aiming and firing your FLUDD yet. Tim Tebow's last chance, Philadelphia Eagles. Prior to the 2015 season, 4 years since his last starting position, Tim Tebow signed a 1-year deal with the Philadelphia Eagles to compete for the third-string quarterback job. According to NFL insider Jay Glazer, they had a reason to be a little excited. Eagles spent time with Tebow's QB, coach Tom House, and are convinced he's improved a lot, Glazer tweeted. But the original game was designed with an awareness of that control scheme, so it's more something to get used to than it is something that breaks the game. Sunshine also has some truly wild level design that immediately ups the ante on what a post-Mario 64 game can do. If he hasn't no harm no foul as they have roster spots. Tebow played surprisingly well for Tebow during the team's 4 preseason games, throwing for 286 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception, and rushing for 82 yards and a touchdown. The unhindered camera and improved processing power of the GameCube allows for bigger, more detailed worlds to explore, starting with the excellent hub town of Isle Delfino. Forget any of the mud-slinging you've seen directed at Super Mario Sunshine. It's still an essential Mario game, and it shines just as brightly in this Switch collection as it did almost 20 years ago. Super Mario Galaxy 2007 image, Nintendo. If you're looking for a best option in the 3D All-Stars package, this one gets my vote. Unfortunately for Tebow, that wasn't enough and he was released before the season started. Super Mario Galaxy is one of the best games released for Wii and, generally, one of the best Nintendo games ever. As the title suggests, this third 3D Mario game sends Nintendo's beloved plumber off to outer space. We felt Tim has progressed, but we didn't feel he was good enough to be the no. 3 right now, then Eagles head coach Chip Kelly said via ESPN. Galaxy takes us back to the familiar setup of a kidnapped Princess Peach and a marauding Bowser family that's hellbent on ruining Mario's good times. This time, the princess has been whisked off to the center of the universe. To rescue her, Mario has to restore power to a comet observatory by collecting a series of power stars that are scattered across 42 different galaxies. He just needs to get more playing time. The observatory may not be mobile, but it still serves as the hub that Mario uses to reach each of those galaxies. The back-to-basics approach starts and ends with the story and basic construct of a power star chase. Get out there and get actual reps. In all the ways that matter, though, Super Mario Galaxy is something entirely new. The level design leans heavily on the unique properties of outer space, so the gravitational pull of the various land masses you visit becomes a regular consideration. Super Mario Galaxy is one of the best Nintendo games ever. As a Wii game, Galaxy took full advantage of the older Nintendo console's motion controls. Those have been adapted, and in some cases improved, to play nice with Switch, but they'll still be a stumbling block for those who would rather control their games with thumbsticks and buttons. When you're playing Galaxy on a television-connected Switch, the Joy-Cons take the place of the original Wii Remote and nunchuck attachment. Mario's unique-to-Galaxy spin move is no longer dependent on shaking the controller. You can do that, but you can also, in a blessed upgrade, simply press Y instead. Because he has done a ton on his own from an individual basis, but it is about taking that next step and playing the game. Once again, Tebow thanked a team for an opportunity. Other motion sense-dependent features, specifically some of Galaxy's bonus challenges, require you to use your Joy-Con like a pointer. In handheld mode, most of the motion sensing features are punted to the touchscreen. Thanks at Eagles and Coach Kelly for giving me the opportunity to play the game I love. Romans chapter 8 verse 28 #blessed, he tweeted. This can be tricky sometimes if you're not using a stylus, since your fingers aren't the most precise instruments to use in a game that generally demands precision. And with that, Tebow's NFL career was over. An NFL career autopsy. Tim Tebow seemed to have everything going for him when he came out of college, except a strong arm, that is, but plenty of guys in the NFL have succeeded without a strong arm. However, if we may use a basketball saying here, ball don't lie. I've spent almost all of my time playing the Switch version of Galaxy in handheld mode, however, and I still find it preferable to the old Wii setup. During his 35 regular season NFL games, Tebow threw for 2,422 yards, an average of 69.2 yards a game, with 17 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, an abysmal 47.9 completion percentage, and 7 fumbles. Couple that with the off-field distractions and way too much media hype, and Tebow's NFL career was uninspiring. An anecdote by one of his former Denver Broncos teammates, Chris Harris Jr., might serve as a microcosm of Tebow's time in the league. Harris was intercepting so many of Tebow's passes in practice that the coaches told him to stop.
I never played more than a couple hours of the original game because the Wii controls were so specifically not my thing. The only tricky bit is the camera, which goes back to the Mario 64 approach of stepped rotation. Coming in as an undrafted rookie, I wanted to make sure I competed every day against those talented receivers, Harris told Stack. A lot of times, coaches had to tell me to cut back. Don't pick off a lot of Tebow's balls. That's how hard I was out there working. Yikes. In 2018, Tebow appeared on the Journeys of Faith with Paula Ferris podcast, and shared that he had no doubts he could still play in the NFL. It's not a major issue in Galaxy, though, because so many of the levels and puzzle sequences employ an intentionally fixed camera that moves with you and automatically shifts its orientation around each new challenge. Summing it all up, Nintendo, all 3 games in the package look and run great on Switch. It's still hard sometimes when I watch games and I'm thinking, I can totally do that, he said via TMZ. Galaxy and Sunshine fare the best, as significantly newer games that were both built in a post-widescreen TV era. Mario 64 is, thankfully, not stretched to fit the Switch screen, but the original 4:3 presentation leaves you with black bars on each side and makes the overall experience feel a little more constricted. It's really not a big deal, though. Once you start playing, it's easy to fall under Mario 64's spell all over again. It holds up very well, as do Sunshine and Galaxy. All 3 of the games in this package have aged remarkably well, and all 3 stand as a testament to the timeless appeal of classic Nintendo games in general. Even in 2020, with newer and fancier Mario games to choose from. It's a shame Nintendo didn't do more to up the 35th anniversary celebration vibes in this collection. As I told you up front, though, Super Mario 3D All-Stars remains a superb collection of gaming classics and a must-own for every Nintendo-loving Switch user. Watch. These are the best beginner-friendly video games for your coronavirus lockdown. Volume 0%. Press Shift ? To access a list of keyboard shortcuts. Keyboard shortcuts: play, pause, space, increase volume, up pointing arrow, decrease volume, down pointing arrow, seek forward, right pointing arrow, seek backward, left pointing arrow. Captions on OFFC full screen, exit full screen, F mute, unmute. Seek %0 to 9. Next up, unboxing the Series 6 Apple Watch. https://mashable.com/article/super-mario-3d-all-stars-review-nintendo-switch/ juicesource equals CL copied less than iframe src equals https://mashable.com/videos/blueprint:/mvlqjz51/embed/?player equals offsite width equals 640 height equals 360 greater than copied 0 more videos unboxing the Series 6 Apple Watch. The story behind Naomi Osaka's 7 US or I can be doing this or playing here or crushing that. Tim Tebow stayed in the game, but on a different stage. While Tim Tebow was unable to fulfill his dream on the field, he stayed close to the game he loves. Open face masks, each honoring a black victim of racial injustice. How to prevent cyberstalking. Composting 101. How to turn kitchen waste into garden gold. A wounded journalist speaks out. Mashable Originals. Andrew Yang thinks big tech and capitalism need to be reined in ASAP. Close. In 2013, the former quarterback joined ESPN as an analyst for the SEC network as part of SEC Nation, a pregame show in the conference where he became a collegiate star. I am so excited that ESPN has given me this incredible opportunity, Tebow said in a statement via ESPN. This is an amazing opportunity to be part of the unparalleled passion of college football and the SEC. ESPN senior vice president Justin Connolly called Tebow an SEC icon, who would be a significant contributor, with his wealth of knowledge about the game, the conference and the passion among SEC fans. By 2017, Tebow signed a multi-year extension with ESPN that allowed him to continue his pursuit of being a professional athlete. I love the passion that SEC fans bring to our set every Saturday morning, Tebow said via Deadline. And I look forward to continuing to share my own love of the game with fans on ESPN and SEC Network. When you have a chance to add a widely popular sports and media figure to your network, you have to jump at it. Kudos to ESPN for understanding that. Tebow's crossover appeal wasn't lost on ESPN's parent network either. In 2014, ABC brought Tebowmania, when Tebow was tapped to co-host Good Morning America as part of their Super Bowl coverage. Will Tim Tebow find success in a new sport? With his NFL days over, Tim Tebow announced he was pursuing a professional career in another sport he played at the University of Florida, baseball. This may sound like a publicity stunt, but nothing could be further from the truth, CAA baseball agent Brody Van Wagenen said in a statement via ESPN in 2016. I have seen Tim's workouts, and people inside and outside the industry, scouts, executives, players and fans, will be impressed by his talent." It didn't take Tebow long to find interest. That same year, the New York Mets signed him to a minor league contract. By 2020, Tebow had spent 4 years in their minor league system, and on February 25, 2020, about a month after he married former Miss Universe Demi Lee Nell Peters, Tebow notched a first in his professional baseball career. Tim Tebow just hit his first extra base hit in 4 years of big league camp, a 2-run homer off veteran reliever Alex Wilson, Mets beat writer Anthony D. Como tweeted. The following month, Tebow was among the first players to be cut by the Mets during spring training. He was actually in a good place swinging, Mets manager Luis Rojas said, per Mets.com. I thought he walked, had a single and hit 3 balls really hard. I see a progression in his game. This is a guy that works really hard. We had the conversation with him going down to keep going with his plan. Hang in there, Tebow.